The guys came with the right intent. They came with the real fight today that I was really fired up to see from the onslaught of the game. But you just can't have the self-inflicted wounds and expect to win football games that we had today. Whether it be the penalty that we got to give them back 4 down, an opportunity in the red zone to score, or whether it be turning the football over on our kickoff and giving them the short field. That offense is too explosive. They're too good. They're too fast to do that to those guys. And we gave them big play after big play today, whether it was broken plays or whether it was plays that was designed. These guys came out ready to play, and we got to get better. And really the focus just becomes about us, right? We got to go out there and focus on us and what we need to do better in order to find ways to win a football game.
Yeah, Coach, how did that one get away from you in the fourth quarter? You playing through most of that until the end, and then kind of got away in the fourth quarter.
Really, I attribute that to, the giving them the points there at the end by giving it back to them instead of the 3. The fumble really got away, and then the big plays that they were able to make with their guys down the field on the football that we were not able to track and make some of those plays. A couple of times we had him in the backfield. He scrambled out. Darnold made a couple of good plays down the field. Those things in football games happen, but you got to limit that when that happens more than once, particularly versus a good football team like the Minnesota Vikings is going to get you beat.
Then, just the elephant in the room, Kurt hasn't had a touchdown pass in 4 games, 8 interceptions. What has to happen for you all to look at the backup quarterback, Michael?
We got to execute better in the red zone. A lot of the things that you got to do and go out there and get done in practice, we got to come to life in the games, and that just hadn't happened the last couple of weeks. And that's something that we got to get better. Kurt threw for 300 and whatever amount of yards. We were able to run the ball in the end zone. We got to the red zone. The goal today was to run in the end zone. These guys played a lot of combo coverage down the red zone. We knew it'd be tough to throw it in. Our plan was to run it in. We ran a couple in there, but we got to do a better job of executing in the red zone all around. We had that many opportunities we have. I think it was 4 or 5. I think we only got 2 touchdowns out of that. You got to get more than that, like those guys did. They were able to out-execute us in the red zone, and that's the story of the game.
So you're sticking with Cousins. You don't have any questions?
Everything is always discussed when you go watch the tape and do all those type of things. But like Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. We'll have the ability to go watch this tape just like we do every single week. Kurt played significantly better than he did the week before. We got a chance to go out there and focus on us and get a chance to go out there and really work on what we do and what we do well. And we'll do whatever is best to go win football games, and Kurt's definitely a part of that.
The penalties came back, especially again today.
Crushed us.
Surprising to you after the way you addressed
I got to go look at them. This business, you can't really talk about penalties, and I won't. But I'll go look at the penalties and see what there were. But I won't make those excuses. They can't happen. It was the same officials for those guys that we had. And if they didn't get those penalties, we must be doing something wrong.
What was happening in the secondary? Both of the receivers were able to have big days.
The first one in the early going looked like a broken play. We got a nice pressure, severely underthrown ball by Darnold that the receiver made a great adjustment on. Tracked it, Addison, and made a heck of a play. One of the other bigger ones looked like a sack or a near sack. He was able to step up, avoid a sack, and really throw a strike down the field when a middle field player left the middle of the field. And then he threw some real dimes. He threw one to Addison down the sideline in the one-on-one coverage. He was able to throw a couple balls down the field and really track the football that way. We got to go look at all of them. But, in the first half, he did a nice job on some of the guys. They did a nice job of really throwing the ball away from A.J. and making other people make plays, and we didn't go out there and make them today.
Doing the turnovers and the penalties and the coverage busts, does that show a lack of attention to detail or not enough?
It's hard to say that when you go out there and do what they did with the amount of yards and things they were able to do and the execution that happened on offense to accumulate those yards, to be able to move it all up and down the field and go get those things. When you get the penalties, we overcame a bunch of them, whether it be the holdings or whatever the case may be. But I definitely agree with you. When you talk about penalties, always a lack of concentration. There's always a lack of discipline, or there's a lack of always loss of control. We didn't have the loss of control penalties with the 15-yarders and things of that nature. But what we did have was it looked like a lack of discipline, maybe in technique, or a lack of control, maybe in body control of what you need to do in order not to get the penalties that we had today.
Do you think Kurt handled the moment coming back here, the pressure, homecoming?
It's hard to say when you lose that way. How you handle the moment. We didn't handle the moment well as a team. We didn't go out there and play well enough for him in order to get him a win, back at this hostile place. What a great environment they provide. What a great environment to go play in. You like to play in that type of environment every single week. A lot of credit to the Minnesota fans, a lot of credit to the Minnesota team. Kurt came out and really did a nice job of trying to get his win, and we did not support him enough around him today, and we got to find ways to do that better.
Raheem, down the touchdown in the fourth quarter, was there anything
Not today. Not today. You know, I wanted him to go finish his deal out here in Minnesota, be able to play the game and go out there and play the game like he wanted to play. And that was my decision, and my decision alone. Not today.
Coach, you all are out of first place now. How do you all try to regroup before you go to Vegas and play the Raiders?
Yeah, really just focus on us, right? We got to go find a way to get a win. And it's really about us trying to find ways to get a win, really just focus on us. We got to worry about us as opposed to what's happening around us. And, like, those are things we got to do. A lot of credit to Tampa. They won 3 in a row. We lost 4 in a row. Got to give those guys in our division a lot of credit. It's time for us to reset the page and find a way to go out there and get a win and to start next week out in Vegas.
Do you feel like you're playing significantly worse the last month, or were you just getting away with some things in the first 6 weeks that you're not now?
You got to stay worse whenever you get lost, whenever you lose. You know, you're not playing as well as you played early on. We were able to finish games and go out and find ways to win those type of games. We were able to find ways to overcome penalties. We were able to find ways to score in the red zone, and we're not doing that right now. So you got to stay worse.
Anything else?
Yeah, your pass rush again showed up, I think, 4 and 7. You might have some more after that, but is that something you said you wanted, it was repeatable after last week. You want to keep that going here down the stretch?
You know, just from a blink, looking at the game, it looked like we caused some significant pressure. Even some of the plays he made downfield, he made some outstanding plays in the backfield, avoiding some of the people that were unblocked or people that were blocked and came off on a nice rush and whatever the case may be. And he made plays down the field. I don't want to take any credit away from Sam Darnold, what he was able to do when he stepped up in the pocket. I did like to see some of the pressure that we were able to apply. Clearly not enough when the guy goes out there and does what he does.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, disappointing day today. Left plays out there, made mistakes at times. It's never going to be a perfect game, but you certainly point to some different moments that were important that we didn't capitalize, and now we got to look forward to what we still have in front of us, and try to get healthy this next week, get to Vegas, and try to find a way to win there, and then see if we can string it together in the last stretch of the season. But certainly disappointing day today, and those are my thoughts. Take any questions you have.
Yeah, Kurt, the turnovers and the penalties, how do you all try to eliminate those moving forward to help you all out play better?
Yeah, the penalties are hard for me to say. I'd have to kind of go back and watch each one to understand kind of why they're happening. During the game, it happened so fast. I think, certainly the first turnover is one that I can correct. I can, whether throw it away, whether move forward, playoff schedule, avoid a sack, whatever you got to do, but don't need to force the ball into that window. And then second one was tough. Would have liked to have put the ball more to the inside. They brought a good pressure, and I thought Byron Murphy made a good play.
You all getting tied up 21-21, or you sense that, okay, now let's make a push here, but then things kind of went sideways?
Yeah, I was encouraged when it was 21-21, felt good about it. But the next time we got the ball back was 35-21, and it had a little bit of a different tenor to the game at that point.
Kirk, what was your emotions coming back here today?
Just gratitude for the 6 years I got to spend here and the people I got to work with, and I got to see some of them post game, and I'm just grateful for the impact they've had on me.
What's your take on the fan reaction coming out of the tunnel? What'd you think? What'd you expect, and how'd you feel about it?
It's a great fan base, and I expected them to, make it hostile, and they did a good job with that.
You all are not in first place anymore. How do you all try to move forward here with 4 games to go?
Just play your schedule, focus 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time, and just try to have great habits on your way to getting ready to play Vegas. And, and when you take it 1 day at a time, we'll just have to get to the end of this run and see where we stand on January 5th or 6th, whatever it is. But until then, you just got to play out your schedule the best you can and see where it leads you.
So you and Kevin O'Connell was talking a little bit on the field. What did he say to you?
Yeah, he just said he was grateful for me. I said the same, and he's a great coach and is doing a great job this year.
You're such a proponent of week to week, and you were saying this team was winning games, but how difficult does that become when you haven't won in a month and you're not playing the way you want to play as a group?
Yeah, no, it's never easy. In pro football, you get tested, and we're there right now. But as you said, win or lose, you kind of have to be able to apply the same process each week and get better. Whether you're winning or losing, you got to find a way to always continuously improve, and certainly that's important this week.
Raheem said you thought you played better this week than you did last week. How do you analyze how you're performing right now?
Yeah, last week was a low bar, but I felt better today. Felt more like myself. Today.
Do you allow yourself to measure yourself up against what Sam's doing, knowing that he just replaced you here?
Yeah, Sam's played great. Had a great year. Did a great job today, and I'm happy for him and the way he's playing and the way those guys are rolling.
Chris, I think the 500 yards in total offense, so usually that's a pretty good sign. But this is the efficiency issue that you guys are kind of struggling with this season, the red zone stuff.
Yeah, I think it's finishing drives with touchdowns instead of field goals. I think it's trying to avoid the penalties. I think it's trying to eliminate those turnovers, and the game's always about points, and so you got to come away with points more than yards. Yards are an indicator, but got to turn them into points.
From the outside looking in, the temptation would be to say, were the 6-3 Falcons the real Falcons, or are these 0-4 Falcons the real Falcons?
Sure.
Where do you land on that question?
I think you just play your schedule, and you again feel like it's a week-to-week league, and when you're playing well, you usually aren't as good as people are telling you when they're patting you on the back, and if you're in a rut, you're usually not as bad as people kind of leaving you for dead, and the reality is usually somewhere in the middle, and we just have to keep playing and see where the dust settles when we get to January.
Eric, I know it's always said that quarterbacks get too much of the credit, too much of the blame, but as you look at your play just really recently, how do you feel like you're contributing to the team's effort?
Yeah, I would love to be playing, with a lot more production, and it's been disappointing, the last 4 weeks to not have a touchdown pass. So I would like that to be different, and hope that we can, in the last stretch here of the season, turn that around.
Anything else?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.